Hello guys, in this video we are going to make a 3D model of the component here. So let's get started. So before going into the actual 3D environment, I would like to point out one main thing about this component, that this component is not having a uniform thickness throughout. So if you look into the drawing closely, you have three features that are varying in their thickness. For example, if I'm considering this shell, it is having a thickness of 2 mm, and if I'm considering this feature, which is a hollow cylinder, it has a thickness of 4 mm. And if you consider this bottom pad where the rib is attached, it is having a thickness of 6 mm. So before starting to create a 3D model, you need to make up your mind and have an approach such that you have to go in a chronological manner. It doesn't affect doesn't affect the regeneration, or that doesn't affect the functionality of the component. So let's get started. So to start off, I'm gonna pick two basic dimension, which are this diameter 72 and this linear dimension 120, that defines the basic skeletal structure or the basic body of this component. I'm going into Creo parametric. To start off, I pick the top plane and I start extruding normal to the sketching plane. I'm picking the center rectangle. If center rectangle is not visible, you can click this arrow to view different types of rectangle that are available. So by default, I have set center rectangle. I'm gonna pick the center point and make this big. So I'm gonna give it a dimension of 72 here, and I'm gonna give it a dimension of 120 here. So I'm not gonna make any semicircle or something as it is seen in this drawing. I'm going to have a different approach. You'll see that. So I exit out of the sketch. So the general thing is you need to right click on this dragger to make it symmetric, but for this purpose I'm going to leave it to blind. I will tell you why at the end of the video, where we will complete this 3D model. So I'm going into the drawing again. I'm going to check the dimension. So if you can note here my cursor, the dimension is 45 from bottom to the top of this feature. So I'm gonna give it a value of 45, center, and exit out of the sketch by clicking the middle mouse button. So what we are gonna do now is we have an engineering feature called round. So if I go to the round tool, I can make a round between these two surfaces. This surface here, and pressing the control key and selecting this surface. So Creo parametric is prompting me to select a surface which acts as a driving surface. So I'm gonna pick this surface. So it makes a round. You can verify that if it is of 72 mm diameter by going into analysis tab, clicking measure, picking this surface. You can see that the diameter is 72. So my sketching makes sense. Also, I can see that there is a round here. When you see it from the section AA view, you have an outer round of R30. So I also need to make that round. So instead of making a new round from engineering feature, I'm going to pick this round and edit it. Go to sets, make a new set, click this edge and give it a dimension of 30, so that I can handle my model tree in an easier manner, where I will not have more features. So in a single round I controlled this as well as this round. So the third thing I'm going to do is that we are not finished with this feature yet. We also have a round on the side which is R8, which says radius 8. So we need to make that round also. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this round command and pick this edge, and Creo will automatically pick the all relevant edges. Pick 8, press enter. So it is selecting the chain by default, and you can exit out of the sketch. So why didn't I include this round inside round 1 itself? What happens if I do that? Let's see, edit definition. If I go to sets and create a new set, if I pick this edge and this edge, Creo is not by default picking all the other edges, so I need to manually pick all the others. That's why I didn't include that in the round. I'm creating another round. So that's my kind of style while modeling. So we are done with one of the features, and Another feature we need to add here, which is of the same thickness, that is 2 mm shell thickness, is this opening which is having an OD or outer diameter of 36 mm. You can see it in the section AA view here. Now you're going to pick this surface and make an extrude, going to the sketch plane, orthographic view, and if you hover over your mouse near this already created round feature, you can see highlighted yellow highlighted points here, and you can snap into one of those points. Suppose if you are an old version Creo user, for example if you are using Creo 3.0 or 2.0, you may not get this highlighted option. For that, what you can do is you can go to references on the top left side and you can pick this arc here, so that it will get referenced automatically, and you pick the circle and your snap will be enabled if you are using some other version of Creo which is below Creo 4.0. So the outer diameter was 36. I can pick OK, and for the extrude length or the extrude depth, it is here from 45 we are having a depth of 8 mm. So I'm going to extrude it to a depth of 8 mm. Is OK. And for the final part, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a round here of radius 5. As you can see in the section AA, we are having a radius of R5. I'm going to go to round, pick this, make this 5, say OK. Okay, so we are now done with the first body. So why do I call this a body? Because this is having a uniform thickness. For example, the outer shell that we have created now, along with this opening of 36 mm diameter, is having a thickness of 2 mm. So now we have done creating one of the bodies that is involved in the 3D model creation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to thin out this feature. In order to thin it out, I can pick the shell command from the engineering menu. I can pick the open surfaces. For example, my bottom surface is an open surface. So how do I know it is an open surface? I can see it from section BB. I can see that there is only a bottom edge. If the sections in a section view, if the periphery is visible, then the center portion is hollow. That's how I know the bottom is hollow. So I'm going to pick the bottom, and holding control, I'm going to pick the top of object. You can double click it and make it to an object of thickness 2. You can click OK. So now we are done with creating the first body. What we are going to do now is that create another feature, a feature which is a hollow cylinder. Hollow cylinder which is having an OD of 24 mm, which can be viewed from the top view of it, 24 mm, and the wall thickness is 4 mm. And also an important dimension is to note is that the depth of the cylinder is referenced from bottom of this pad, that is bottom to top is 60 mm. For that, I'm going to create a reference plane from bottom, that is up to height of 60. So I pick this plane and I make an extrude, make sketch view normal, and I'm gonna look at how far this hole is from this hollow cylinder is from any of the edge. Have they given any dimensions? I'm looking into the top view. So here they have given the dimension of 16. So the center is 16 mm from this edge. So I'm gonna pick my hole and reference it. I'm gonna pick dimension, pick the center point, and pick the outer edge. Press middle mouse button, and it is 16 mm. If I double click on the dimension, I can give it a dimension of 24. I guess that is the dimension. Yes, 24 mm diameter. Can pick OK. Currently by default it is taking the upper side, but I want it to extrude in the lower side. I'm gonna click the arrow and I'm gonna pick two selected and pick this surface. That's how I get an extrude up to this surface, and I'm gonna click OK. I need to create a hole to make this a hollow cylinder. For example, for a cylinder which is having 24 mm diameter and a wall thickness of 4 mm, I can reduce twice the wall thickness, that is 4 mm from this side and 4 mm from this side, to make the ID or the hole diameter. So 24 minus 8 is 6. So I'm going to pick this surface, pick hole command, holding control, and I pick the axis which is already available from the previous extrude. I'm going to click it and give it a dimension of 16. and I'm gonna click the drag handle and pick through all. So since this is a shell element, doesn't make any difference. Whatever depth you give beyond this cylinder, it will work. So I'm gonna click OK. Now we are going to go to the third feature, which is the bottom pad, which is having a thickness of 6 mm. So I'm having a periphery which is of this shape, just the bottom pad, and I need to know whether I need to know the dimension about which this has been offset from the basic parallel. For example, we have created this inner shell as the first feature with 2 mm thickness, and here they have given a dimension of 5 mm, which is the offset value of the periphery from this, and they have given an outer dimension of 120 mm. Okay, so they have given a dimension of 120 mm, and the sketch is symmetric about this plane, so that I can start making my 3D model from these basic data. So let's get started. So I'm gonna pick this top datum plane, make an extrude, make the sketch view normal, the orthographic view. What I'm gonna do now is, as we saw earlier, this is having an offset of 5 mm. On the top view you can see here. I'm gonna pick the offset command from the sketcher, pick this, make a value of 5 mm, pick this edge, make a value of 5 mm, pick this arc, make a value of 5 mm. So why didn't I select any line between these two? How did I know? Because as you can see from the top view, the edges are offset only along this arc, this line, and this round, and not along and not in between them. So that's why I didn't offset this particular line here. So now that we are done with the offsetting, we can close out of here, and I'm gonna make profile of a rectangle. I'm gonna constrain it from this edge to here. It is 60. How did I know it? That is 60, because since the total is 120 from the midline to this edge, it is probably going to be 60. So I'm done with that. Okay, and I'm gonna make a line from here and it at the center line. As you can see, there is a red dot here. It indicates that there is a problem with the arc joining with this line. Instead of projecting it, what I could do is I could click this line and delete it, make a new line. That's how it fixes the problem. Now we are done with that. I can click this dimension and make it a strong dimension so that it is not being manipulated. Or you can even delete this dimension. Click here, make a dimension of 5, which is already there. It's a reference dimension, so I can make this a strong dimension. What I'm gonna do now is, since this sketch is symmetric about the center line, once I created this part, I can just mirror it about this line and make a consequent mirrored line which is same as on the top side. I'm gonna pick the delete segment command and delete it. Gonna pick this chain by holding control, press mirror, pick the line, and you are done. We're gonna select the project command, pick this edge, this edge, this, this, this edge, and all the other edges, so that we get only the outer periphery and not the others. So we are gonna exit out of the project by pressing middle mouse button, and I'm exiting out of the sketch. So I'm gonna so the direction is correct, so I'm gonna give it a thickness of 6. How do I know it is 6? Because here in the section A it is given as 6. Now you can see element has been created. If you had keenly noticed, I had missed this round 5. I had purposely left it unsolved because I'm gonna use engineering round. The basic thumb rule is you should not use fillets or chamfers inside a sketch unless and until it is purpose specific, because it is part of engineering. So I'm gonna pick this edge holding control, this edge, give it a value of 5. Yes, it is 5. And also these edges. Instead of selecting these edges one by one, if you right click on one of the edges, all the other loops will get automatically selected. I don't know why that feature is not working. Let me check once again. So I'm going to the round feature. If I press this right click, it should actually select everything, but it is not selecting. So I don't know why. So I went with the old way of picking everything manually. So that's how it's done. A question you may ask is, why am I exposing my weak points in this video? You know, I'm having a lot of thinking while doing this 3D model. I'm discussing a lot while making this. Instead of making a video that is just focused on the 3D modeling and giving features and all, that wouldn't sound interesting to me, because even the experts would fail at some circumstances, and you will have you will have to expose your weakness in front of the people whom you are teaching, in order to encourage them, or in order to inculcate an attitude that even if you make mistakes, even if you are an expert, you will make mistake. Even if you make mistake, it doesn't matter. So that's how that's the type of attitude you want to instill in the people whom you are trying to teach. So now that we have done creating this 3D model, I have missed only one feature, that is this rib, which is in between this shell element and this bottom pad. I am leaving this rib element intentionally undone in order to explain it in another video. I am having an idea of explaining about ribs in a dedicated video, where you will get to know about a lot about ribs. If I explain it in a simpler manner now, I can go to rib, profile rib, and I can pick a plane not having any dimensions. Actually, rib is placed at a particular value, 32 mm from this edge. But for simplicity, I'm just making a rib. I can make a rib of 4 mm thickness. I can mirror it about this plane, and I can explain it in a simpler way. But the rib in itself is an ocean. It is having a lot of inner features. You can make a profile rib, trajectory rib. It is an ocean. It is vast actually. I can use it in different circumstances. But for simplicity, I have made a simple rib here. So now that we have done with our 3D model, I hope you are done with this video. So thank you for watching. So the key takeaway from these videos I would like to tell you is that whenever you are making a 3D model, make up your mind in such a way that you are dealing with individual entities or individual bodies. In this model, for example, we used three bodies. One body which is of 2 mm thickness, another with 4 mm thickness, another with third body with 6 mm thickness. For going with that approach, you can make an errorless 3D model where entities can you know you can correlate with those entities, and you will go in a chronological order instead of going from random, switching from random feature to another. Some people will go first create this opening and another opening, and they will create an extrude, and they will thin it out. So that will be time consuming, and a person who is a stranger or a third person who is viewing this 3D model will not be able to understand what's actually happening. So that's why I spend some time studying this drawing and explaining it in a detailed manner and a simple way, I hope. So that's it for today. Let's see in another video. So thanks for watching, and always stay home and stay safe. Tata, bye bye, and take care.